You're listening to the Low Pressure Podcast, the podcast for skiers.
Presented by CMH Heli Skiing and Peak Performance.
This episode of the LPP is brought to you by CMH Heli Skiing, Peak Performance Outerwear, Fat Tire Amber Ale, RMU Skis and Mountain Culture Shops, and the official destination partner of the LPP, Kicking Horse Mountain Resort in beautiful Golden, British Columbia. Enjoy the episode. Welcome to the Low Pressure Podcast, to the, what did you call it?
LPP Incorporate.
The LPP Mansion.
I like the LPP. LPP makes it sound like very posh.
The LPP LLC.
Yeah.
At the LPP Mansion.
Yeah.
LPP Studios here in beautiful Whistler, British Columbia. Your hometowns.
Yeah. Yeah, for a while now.
You guys, did you guys go both, like, born and raised, grow up here?
I was born in Vancouver, but when I was about 8, I moved up here, but I always had a cabin up here, so I've been skiing.
So, yeah, basically.
Pretty much, yeah.
So I was like 4 when I moved up here.
So, pretty much. Yeah, you guys grew up here. Went to elementary school, went to, like,
Yeah,
you know,
high school,
all that kind of stuff. So,
Yep.
yeah, absolutely.
Best parts of Whistler.
What's that? You?
The elementary and high school.
Are you guys calling yourselves the best parts of Whistler?
No.
No, your high school years.
Yeah.
Oh, I disagree.
Pretty
Oh, I
not so great.
100% disagree with that. Like, absolutely, vehemently, 100% disagree with that. High school was the worst.
Yeah.
That's why I'm here.
Oh, yeah.
Is because high school was so shitty that I wanted nothing to do with it.
Well,
This is
maybe
kind
that's the reason you are here.
Yeah, exactly. Because high school sucked.
Yeah.
But you guys just said you love high
Well,
school.
good thing for high school, though.
Yo, okay, yeah. If you want to look at it that way, good thing for high school. Maybe.
Or else,
I was being
we
sarcastic.
wouldn't have LPP, you know?
Fair enough. You guys are freshly out of high school, right?
Yeah.
Please tell me you're out.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, of course you are. Otherwise, I'd have to take that beer away from you.
Yeah,
You guys graduated last year,
last spring.
and a lot has happened for both of you in the
guess
last, I guess, full
Pretty much full year, yeah.
year.
Yeah.
Eh?
Yeah.
So, as I always show people, I usually have like a blank piece of paper of questions I want to write down. I know you guys both a little bit. We spent some time hanging out on the tour, and me sandbagging you and embarrassing you in front of
Making me look good.
Yeah, making you look good, but also you making me look good. We'll get to that shortly as well. But I don't write questions down, but I have a few. I actually wrote some notes this time.
Prepared.
Yep. So this episode is with the next generation of shredders, Gogo. I think I've been calling you Gogo. I think I want it to stick. We've been calling you Gogo on the Freeride World Tour podcast.
Yeah.
I think it was Sam Smoothie.
Yeah, it was Sam.
Go.
Yeah.
So Gogo might stick.
I like that.
Yeah.
And then Weiho, is that pretty much what people call you?
Big W.
The Big W, yeah.
Big W.
So the Big W came about from like Enzo,
Yeah.
I believe.
Well, no, I told him that's what the girls call me, Big W.
Oh, that's right.
But it actually came from, I was working at the golf course in the summer.
Yeah.
And he was like trying to pronounce my name. He's like, I'm just gonna call you Big W.
The Big W. That's right. We were at the dinner table and he's like, what do people call you? Like the Big W, and he lost his mind. He's like, the Big W.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna end up being. I'm gonna call you guys Weiho and Gogo and Weiho.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Weiho.
Yeah.
It's your name. It's your name.
Yeah.
Go.
Go.
Go,
It's actually
Goguen.
been, supposedly it's been running in the family for a while with my dad's side of the family.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I spent a little bit of time with your dad and your stepmom in Verbier last week.
Yeah.
Met them on the street with Derek, and then at breakfast one morning I snuck into the athletes hotel.
Yeah.
And then on the train back, they were on the same train.
Oh really?
Yeah. Your stepmom almost got off the train. And your dad was like, all right, see you at the next stop. They were like,
you guys are both going to the same place.
yeah, we were like, don't get off the train. We're like, no. She's like, I'm just going to get off and put the trash in. We're like, no, don't get off. He's like, we'll see you there. I was like, oh, that was cold.
Yeah.
That was awesome. All right, so, well, you guys just graduated high school. last year, but there's a lot to cover. So I might pick one of you and then pick the other, and then we can kind of put it all together, right? So I think this. I haven't done an episode like this in a while where it's like get to know these guys that you need to get to know. Like I like to have these episodes with like up and comers or people that are like really putting their stamp on skiing, and you guys are good skiers. So I don't know if I've told this on the podcast, but I've told this story many times. When I first learned about you, Wei Tien, is I was boot packing, or basically just up to Spanky's, just up the walk there, and I got to the top, and I saw Whistler Freeride coaches Meredith and Drew, and they're like, "Oh, Warner, like we thought you were Wei Tien," because when we had the same peak performance jacket and pants, and I was like, "Oh yeah, who's he?" They're like, "Oh, it's a kid in Freeride Club," and I was like, "Oh, is he better skier than me?" And they both went, "Yes." Like without even hesitating. They're
I
like,
remember the first time I met you, we were just skiing on the cat track.
yeah, so this is like maybe a week after.
Oh right, yeah.
So I met them at the top, and I was like, "Oh, who is this kid?" And they're both, so instantly they both went, "Yes, he's way better than you." And I was like, "Oh, nice! Like he's gonna make me look good all season." They're like, "No, they'll be able to tell the difference."
And again, we were matching this year, pretty much.
Yeah. So keep up that trend, man.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then like I guess maybe a week or a week and a half later or something like that, we were bombing down. You remember that?
Yeah, I remember that.
Tell
You
us-
came up on me and
Tell this story.
in the same kit, and you're just like, "Hey, nice kit." And I was like, "Hey, you too." And then you're just like, "Yeah, you've been making me look good. People keep mistaking me for you."
That's not true, but I wanted people to believe it. And I was like, "I'm Mark, I do the podcast." You're like, "Oh, cool, man, right on." And then
and then it was like IF3.
yeah,
Right, was
yeah, because
following
Peak was working with IF3,
right.
and you guys presented one of the Peak films.
Turdel's thing. Yeah,
You and Derek,
me and Derek. Yeah,
and then we did the award show. And then I sandbagged you in front of everybody in the ski industry. Yeah. And I was like, "Hey, I'm introducing the next best skier on the planet." And I'm I'm looking at you, Cooch.
I just didn't know what I was doing, but luckily I had Derek. So
yeah. And I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna just embarrass this kid. I think he's gonna pay his dues." But yeah, you took it well.
it was alright with Derek up there.
Yeah,
helping me out.
Little red, but it's true. I don't not believe that. Like both of you guys are like freaking ninjas, and it's really fun to watch. But also, I think you guys are a little crazy. I think it also comes down to age. And then Marcus, I knew about you just through Instagram, for real. I think I was following you,
Marcus G360.
Marcus G360.
I hope he never gets rid of that.
No, I don't think you ever will.
I'll probably keep it for a while longer at least.
You should do all of your like adult emails the same.
At MarcusG360 at gmail.com.
Yeah. Is that your email address too? No. I have an old like goofy email address, like from like my old Hotmail address that I got, I think probably before you guys were born. We won't even need to get into that. But yeah, so I learned about you just through, I think, being tagged in his Instagram posts, just doing like wild and crazy shit through the Whistler Freeride Club and junior stuff, and it was, I don't think it was because you guys were from Whistler, but I think being that you were Whistler, I paid a little bit more attention.
Right.
But you guys are going off. And I was like, I'd talk to Freeride Club coaches or any of those people. I'd be like, "Who are these kids, man? Like, is this what's happening on the weekends in Whistler right now?" Like,
well, I think the whole club's been going off lately. I mean, there's so many good riders, all the way down to like 12 to 14 riders.
Yeah, like cleaning up at the events this year.
Oh yeah, big time. Bunch of sweeps. I mean, they've been killing it.
Right, and I think that just maybe it comes down to Derek and the team. Give yourselves a pat on the back, but also maybe guys like yourselves who are just have that ability and like push each other. Like, have you guys been best buds for a long time?
I think we started skiing together since it was a ski group called Ultimate Eights.
Oh yeah.
So when we were 8 years old, we started skiing together.
Did you guys have the big like bibs, the pinnies, or like the hockey
we
jerseys
use
that you
the
had to wear
bibs?
over top?
No, but I think we all had similar kits. Everyone was in the same kit.
In Ultimate Eights, we had to wear bibs.
Oh yeah, sorry.
But I remember
Ultimate Eights, we were in bibs,
one of our
yeah.
coaches, Rowan, would let us take them off for the park, and we felt super sick.
It was like 4 of us, and he'd just take us in the park, and we were allowed to take our bibs off.
We actually have a little edit from a long time ago with like 4 of our homies just super tiny.
So like
in the park.
the 10-year-old edit.
Yeah.
Like not 10. Well, it's 10 years
we're
old
like
now, but you were 10.
7, 8.
Really?
Yeah. 10 years old.
It's just classic spin to wins on like small, medium jumps in the Whistler Park.
Is it on YouTube?
Yeah, YouTube or Vimeo.
Vimeo. I
Really?
think. I haven't been able to find it in a long time. I'll have to ask him for it.
I'm gonna see if we can track that down. Maybe we can add it to this to the episode or
That
something.
was
super funny.
Sure. It was like a group of 4 of us.
Yeah.
Really?
All skied together. Yeah.
So you guys have been buds since you were kids, basically.
Yeah.
So I have this theory that, you know, depending on, you know, the people, like everybody has the ability to be really good, but when you have that partner or those friends that you're always, maybe not always trying to one up each other, but you're always encouraging each other. You're always doing that.
Like a healthy competitiveness.
Yeah, right. Like I have, like I've known of groups of friends that are like all 3 of them are just unreal skiers, and then there's another group of 3 guys that maybe aren't unreal. They're good skiers, but they never really push themselves that hard.
Yeah, and I kind of think it's like extra motivation to push yourself every day.
Yeah,
and I think
right.
that's part of the reason why the Whistler Freeride Club's just doing so well, because every kid's so hungry already. And then having that, you're in that environment, in that class, and everyone's just pushing each other every day. So then people just get so much better every day.
All right, so who wants to go first? You spoke first, so you get to go.
I didn't really speak. I just mumbled, but
Yeah,
sure.
way to step up to the game there, Go. All right, so let's kind of.
I didn't know about that.
Yeah, Sam Smoothie was like, go, getting dropping.
And then did you
or
say this,
something.
and your dad was like, "Oh, they used to call me that too."
Yeah, just the other
That's
night.
funny. We never since childhood we've never came up with that. Go.
Oh yeah.
Well, I think that's.
You called me like Marky Poo or something.
Yeah, I think we call him Marky. Yeah.
I get that one too. Actually, I've had Marky Poo. All right, so the last year has been a big year for you, and there's like, all right, so let's start off with you're on the junior tour this year.
Yeah.
Or I guess at the end of this year, and you won it. So walk us through just a couple of the quick events through that, and then the junior tour ended in
like last year.
Yeah, was it last year you won?
Last year, like
Right.
the junior tour, it ended just this time last year, and yeah, it was worked out pretty well. I just kept it consistent, couple podiums, and ended up getting 3rd at the NORAM, so that put me in the top spot in the overall rankings. And then with that, yeah, I was able to qualify for the Junior Worlds this year. And yeah, the Junior Worlds is probably one of the best runs I've had in my life.
Really?
Not actually, no, that's not true. It's super sketchy, but it's definitely one of the one of the best days I've had in my ski career for sure. Just being, it was such a cool experience being out in Europe skiing my first time and meeting all these new people and young kids who are all having the same mindset, and everyone's just there for a good time and happy to be out in Europe shredding. So it's super cool.
That was your first time in Europe?
First time skiing in Europe.
Okay.
My grandma actually has a place in Trieste, Italy, so I've been out to Europe quite a few times. But
Is that in the Dolomites? Is it near northern Italy, or is it lower?
Lower down.
I think it's lower down, on the coast.
We gotta go out there.
Yeah, man.
Place on the beach, our own private dock. Stuff. It's pretty sick.
Next winter for
Have the world tour out there.
Next FWT event. Just take a week and go down and hang out at Grandma Go-Go's.
Yeah, it's too bad it's not really warm there in the winter though, but
still be
pizza
fun for
and
sure. A little good
pizza,
pasta, and pizza, and
exactly.
It's a cool town. Trieste is a cool town.
You've been, yeah?
Yeah, me and my family, when we went to Europe, we stayed a week there.
At the house?
Yeah.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah,
super fun.
Yeah, super fun.
Made a little a
little
vlog.
vlog,
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
But yeah, the town's super cool.
Oh, sweet. You have a vlog?
It's kind of, I'm retired actually.
What do you call it? Whale vlogs?
I don't know.
Changed to Big
But
W
it's a little
vlogs
bit.
now.
Yeah, it's kind of.
Do you know you guys are probably going to end up doing a blog or vlog soon? I would probably.
I think we want to get like a dad cam and like.
If you haven't started one already, I would highly suggest you guys get set up for next season.
Yeah, we should get a dad cam.
Yeah, next year we could do it. Like Valet and Max, I know they're doing a little video thing, and
they had their whole season.
Yeah.
What was it called? Shoot, something to ride. Dang it! Yeah, I always forget. I always want to call it Drive to Survive, like the F1 show.
F1,
because Max and Valley both talked to me on the FWT show.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, guys, if you're listening to this. I can't remember the exact name of it. I know it's like something to ride, not Ticket to Ride. Oh crap!
Yeah,
we'll look it up and we'll at the end.
No, but it's pretty sick because it seems like they had the like similar dream to be on the tour together as Wei Tien and I did. So
so they had a little different though. Max kind of worked his way up. He ended up winning events, getting wild card win, win.
That's a quick working his way up though.
Yeah, and then Valet ended up going back to the Challengers and then having to work. Valentine Rayner had to work his way back onto the tour, and then look where he is, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So you guys, was it always your? We'll get back to the thought process here, but was it always kind of a dream of yours to get onto the tour?
Yeah, definitely for the past couple of years for sure.
Now, is that heavily influenced by being on the Freeride club? Like, can you just be on the club and just want to get to be a better skier, or do most people on the Freeride clubs want to be on the tour because of like influences like Derek?
Well, I think naturally everyone just starts competing, and then because of that, you start to watch the tour and watch older guys. So I think, and we would sometimes ski with like Tom Pfeiffer and stuff, and them going on tour. And,
World Tour Tom.
Yeah, exactly. So I think just naturally, you kind of look up to the tour, and then
you did Olivia on the tour for the last couple of years as well.
And Cooper
and then I think the first time was like watching Jackson Bathgate win juniors. It was kind of the first time we were like, oh, like it'd be cool to go somewhere with the ski competing.
Right. Cooper and Jackson and Derek were on the show, I think, when they were like 16.
Really?
15, 16, yeah.
That'd be a funny episode.
Derek came and like chaperoned them and brought them on, and that was like 6 or 7 years ago.
Those are hilarious.
Yeah, and then so Coop made it on, and then Jackson,
Jackson
made the tour this year with you, but we'll get to that. All right, so you're in Europe, first time in Europe. You win.
First time skiing in Europe.
Yeah. First time. All right, Wei Tien, we're gonna talk
be too much of a pain.
The rest of the way. All right, so your first time skiing in Europe, and then since you won, did they just invite you to come? So how did you end up in Baqueira?
Before I even went out to Europe, I had been talking with Derek, and Derek was talking to Lolo, and we had plans to Forerun for Baqueira just because I was already out there and it was an easy drive. And so after it just helped my case a little bit, winning Worlds, and then
you're already there.
We're already there. Went in Forerun for Baqueira, for the tour in Baqueira, and I kind of just felt like I felt like I was in the right spot, and I was really enjoying hanging out with everybody, and just felt right. So I think they kind of saw that, and
they saw you ski, and then they saw the vibe, and they were like, "Oh, let's give this kid a wild card." So
yeah,
you just kind of like Max Palm last year.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, and Max is one of my really good buddies on the tour.
Right.
So it's been a good time, and then I went to Andorra.
All right, so fast forward through this. So you end up getting your wild card. What was that information like? Was it like, holy crap, I'm gonna get to compete as an event wild card?
Yeah, it's pretty dream come true for sure. It was after the Baqueira party. Everyone was pretty hungover.
Yep.
And we're at the barbecue just on the top of the mountain or bottom of the mountain. We're all just eating lunch
with everybody like hanging their heads,
chilling,
barely
trying to
on.
put some food in their stomachs. And then I got pulled aside by Derek, and he just tells me like, "Yeah, I got a call from Lolo and Bertie and stuff this morning, and yeah, they said that we want to give you the wild card for the tour." And I was pretty mind blown. I didn't really know
for the whole tour or just the event.
For the next 2 stops,
right?
So that would give me the chance to qualify for the rest of the season,
right?
And yeah, I didn't really know what to do. I didn't even really tell anyone. First people I told were Max and Justine and Baptiste in the car down from the lunch, and as pretty magical, and I didn't really know what to think of with that situation. I was like just stoked.
And then are you all of a sudden like, oh crap, like I gotta do this, or you're like, okay, game on?
No, honestly, I wasn't really stressed at all because I knew if I didn't do well, I didn't qualify for the cut, I'd just be right back in the same spot, if not better, onto the challengers with Wei Tien and stuff.
That's a great mindset.
Yeah.
Like I always tell people, like people that are afraid to ask for things, and I fall into this as well. It's like, well, if you don't ask, you're not going to get it. You're going to be in the exact same situation as you were before you asked. And then, and if they say no, well, then you're still in the same situation. You know what I mean? Or yes, I'm in. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Derek definitely helped me achieve that mindset for sure.
Yeah, yeah, and I'm sure he best put in a good word and was like, no, this kid can handle it. So he's known you for. He's like an alternate parent, right?
Definitely wouldn't have happened without Derek. Especially just being in Baqueira with the tour was the main part that helped me out.
It's a cool vibe, hey?
Yeah.
Like just being around the crew and the family, and like, how is it different? Because you've hung around the tour a little bit as well, and we'll get to that. But how is it different with like everybody in the same hotel, everyone's together, rather than, I know it's a cool vibe within the challengers and the junior tours and the FSA tour, but everyone's on their own program. Whereas within the FWT, everyone's in the same hotel, they're all kind of in the same place. How was that different for you?
It just felt like a family for sure. And there is still people doing their own different things in the hotel. Some people are working out, some people are chilling in the rooms, and some people are trying to be at the bar and socialize and just keep their minds off the competition. But at the end of the day, everyone's there in the same hotel and just stoked to be there. And it's
did you find, like, were you like seeking anybody out, like people that you wanted to like pick their brain or get advice from, or just
like girls?
Oh, that too.
No.
Is that a no because like I did and I got shut down, so I'm just gonna say no?
Yeah, I'm just gonna say no to that one. But I kind of, when I started asking lots of questions, I would ask Max a lot of questions because he was around and he'd already had experience on the tour for a year, and Andrew Pollard as well. He gave me a lot of wise words, and you can see he's a wise man from his result in was it Fever Bruin, just keeping it chill, and it worked out for him
all season.
Third
overall.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah, he's crushed it. He played it smart.
Yeah, we were talking on the podcast. It's like the tortoise and the hare.
Yeah.
Right? All you hares going mock chicken, going crazy, doing stupid, gnarly things. And he's like, I'm going to just put down a run to my feet.
Yeah,
I love watching him ski.
It's going to look cool. I'm going to ski this extremely well. And look at that, I'm on the podium.
Exactly.
Oh, look, I won.
Yeah.
Oh, look, I'm third overall.
Yeah.
Right? All right. So let's get back to it. We get to Andorra, right? We had to get to Andorra in like 2 days. We had to get on the face. We had to go. Like, was that helpful for you because it was like so quick? You didn't have that much time to think. You just got into it.
I would have liked to hang out and chill a bit more, but it was fine. Like I wasn't too bothered by it.
Right.
I had like a bit of experience of visual inspection with Junior Worlds because that was visual inspection as well. So it was nice to have a little bit of experience in that field under the belt. And
right. Well, your run was an adventure.
Yeah, it
was an absolute adventure. You threw like giant backflip, 720. Your goggles, like your backflipped, and your goggles were like around your face, and then you walk us through that.
Yeah, so I don't know. I couldn't really tell if I was nervous or not at the top. I was pretty nervous about where to enter because like from the top of Andorra just seemed like super blind rollover, but I knew it wasn't like super steep on the other side. So I can't remember who I talked to, but I think it was maybe Andrew or someone. And it was just directly fall line from the gate is that little entrance to that couloir. So once I got that down, I think I was okay. But as you could see in the start gate, I think I was like shaking around the whole time, doing the classic nervous dance.
Yeah,
and then.
And then you put down that run, which was super impressive. And everyone was like, okay, if there's any questions whether this guy should be on here on the tour or not, he just answered them.
Yeah.
Because he landed on his feet, couldn't see. It was like I said, it was really funny to watch. I'm going to add that to the list of like everybody's like first runs on the tour.
Yeah.
I think Andrew Pollard was telling me, I think his first run ever was like one of the only times he's fallen. Raina Barker, his first run ever, he was hanging upside down from a tree.
Really?
Carl Renier ended up breaking his hands right before his first ever run. Right. But that run was amazing, and it
Yeah, well,
it showed people. I think everybody was like, "Holy crap!"
Yeah.
Like, who's
Did
this
his job.
Who's this kid?
I crashed on that 360. I didn't quite get enough speed. My tips hit the rock and bucked me forward, and
The little weird
I went
side,
into-
that little front, like, yeah.
I went into like full face plant, and that's kind of what like put my rear goggle strap down a little bit, and it was like still on for the 7, and then after the 7, they just kept on falling down, and then for the backflip, I just screw it. I put them over my neck, and I still went for it. I had to prove the haters wrong.
Yeah.
Not that there's really haters, but I just had to prove people that I
didn't
belong there.
I didn't know how he was gonna do the backflip because I remember he walked me through his line, and I was like,
Were you guys like on? Oh, because you were there.
Yeah,
You
at the
were
bottom, he
Yeah,
just
you
like
were
walked
there,
me
that's
through
right.
it on his phone. I was just like looked at his takeoff for his backflip, and I was like, I don't know how he's gonna get like enough kick, but he has a pop like no one else, and pull it off with no goggles. I remember watching it. I was like, is he gonna do a backflip? He's gonna do a backflip, and perfect.
It wasn't really perfect, but
Brought it around to your feet. So
yeah.
pretty good.
All right, so moving through the pretty good way of like introducing yourself,
Yeah.
and then you can make the cut.
Yeah.
You get to compete at Kicking Horse at home. Back to Europe. Unfortunately, it didn't go off, but you kind of like were like, okay, I'm here. Like it was kind of a bit of a whirlwind year for you.
For
Like,
sure, yeah.
Boom! Now on the Freeride World Tour, qualified for next year.
Yeah.
And then you've got other stuff going on too, which we'll get in a minute. But now I want to get to Wei Tien, right? So we covered how we met, and then you were on the junior tour as well.
Yeah.
And then last year, I think your first real experience with the FWT was in Kicking Horse as well.
Yeah.
When they had the face got hit with that crazy wind event, and they're like, we can't ride this. And they basically made the decision to change the venue to the next day. So after they made the call, hey, we're not skiing here, well, there's another venue. Everybody went to the bottom of T1. All the riders were there. The mood was not good.
Yeah.
It was a foul mood. Like if they were cartoon characters, there'd be like a storm cloud falling over top everybody's head, right? So everybody's sitting down at the bottom, griping, grumpy, like this is bullshit. We can't do our regular run. And then you foreran the face in T1, and by the time you got to the bottom, every single rider stood up and was like, yeah, started cheering, and the mood shifted like the drop, like a snap. Everyone was pissed, and then you rode that line. Never seen anything like it for a Forerunner. Everybody stood up and was like, yeah, that was awesome. Who's this kid? Holy shit, blah, blah, blah. Like, totally changed the mood around. Totally put the comp back on track. Everyone was stoked, and then it was actually super fun.
Yeah.
So that was kind of your first go at it.
Yeah, just hanging out with the family. That's the first thing I noticed, like being on with the whole around the tour, like just noticing, like you were saying, just how much of a family it is, and just like the vibe and the camaraderie is like pretty next level. You don't really get that. Like you get a bit of it in junior, but like you're saying, like not everybody's staying together, and you're not just like traveling the world with the same kind of pack of people,
right?
So like that's something that I really noticed and kind of blew my mind. It was like, it's like a big family here.
So that was
everyone's in the same boat. Everybody's stressed out about the comp. Everybody's kind of helping each other out. So
right. So that was kind of like
environment.
the first introduction of you to the Freeride World Tour.
Yeah.
And then this in Andorra, and is it just Andorra you came to? You were in Baqueira,
Andorra, and I was
yeah. So you showed up to Andorra while he did his first run.
Yeah, and I remember texting him because he was gonna do Baqueira, and then we were both gonna go to King Horse.
Yeah.
But I remember texting him, and he was in Baqueira, and he's like, I got off the plane. He's like, oh, I'm coming to Andorra. And I was like, what? No, he's like, I just got a wild card for the rest of the tour.
Yeah.
Pretty
He
funny.
just texted me that.
Are you stoked? Or are you a little bit like, God, what?
No, well, he just won Junior Worlds. Like,
Yeah.
it made sense. I was like, I couldn't believe it. I was stoked, yeah.
So the reason you were there is because you're also a bike athlete. You guys are both unreal mountain bikers from what I've been told. You have a bike / ski sponsor.
Yeah.
So you're skiing and biking for Commencal.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so you were there visiting the factory, right?
Yeah, so their factory and headquarters is based in Andorra, so it worked out really nicely.
And you were there to check out the bikes or the skis?
A bit of both, just kind of meet everybody, visit the headquarters, visit the factory and stuff, and yeah, just do a bit of ski stuff. But yeah, I saw some bikes too, but mostly for skiing.
So how did that get started? Was it the ski thing first, or was bikes first?
It was bikes first.
Because do you consider yourself a biker that likes biking and loves to ski, or do you love to bike and you like to ski?
Neither. I don't.
You don't like either of them?
No, I just I'm trying. I like them both equally. I can't really choose.
Right.
So,
what do you think you're better at?
People ask me this. I don't know. Well, if I were to do downhill biking and compare that to skiing, definitely skiing. Just because we're an elite now, and this is our first year in elite.
Did you just call yourself elite?
Well, we're in the elite.
I'm teasing.
We're in elite, the elite men category for downhill biking,
right? Which
is kind of absurd. So if we were just comparing that, I would definitely say skiing. But I'm focusing on enduro, and I don't really know.
Because you guys have had you both have had some pretty good results on the both on the enduro competition circuit. Is that correct?
Yeah, mostly.
Both enduros, crankworks events, and just some downhill World Cups and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, so like we just finished up our 2 years in junior downhill, but for enduro mountain biking, we still have 2 more years in the U21 category.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't really understand any of.
Yeah, it's complicated. But.
Yeah, and like you can if you pay a certain fee, you win a race, you get you win the race, but if you don't pay the fee, you get another category. Is that correct?
That's kind of the BC Cup, but that's different than like the World Cups and stuff.
Right. How did you guys do in the downhill, like overall last year?
It wasn't really. We didn't really, or I didn't really compete like fully on I just went out there for world champs and.
Yeah, I heard you guys were like, I might compete tomorrow. Just go and smoke everybody.
Yeah, well, you came to world champs, and at world champs, like pretty much all the Canadians got knocked out from either a crash, and got injured before the race even started, or crashed in the race, and he was like the only guy who basically got us a result for Canadians. Even Jackson crashed.
It was a pretty hard race though, because world champs there's an extra practice day. That means the speed is just that much faster, and then on the finals day it rained, so people are going the same speed, but the routes were wet, so everyone was just blowing out.
Except for you, because that's what you ride in 90% of the time.
I don't even know. I just think I don't take it that seriously, so I just kind of chill, and it works out.
They did well. 13?
Yeah, 13th, I think.
Yeah.
Which people don't realize in mountain biking is actually a great score. A lot of people are like, oh, 13th, but in mountain biking, 13th is a good result.
The times are just so tight.
Yeah,
It's crazy, especially downhill, because you're just practicing so much. Like you just get to know the track so well, and your pace just gets faster and faster. And yeah, the times are really tight, especially in elite, man.
Right. So I think a bunch of episodes ago, it might have been with Kyle Smain. Because I re-listened to that episode when I re-released it, but I think we were talking about who in skiing is like a true like double athlete. We were talking about Casey Dean back then, but like
Casey Dean's
right. But you guys, I think, are going to be obviously you're sponsored by. It's like Commencal, which is bikes and skis. Yeah, makes me think of like Yamaha or like Hitachi or something like that, where it's like. You get like a motorcycle and then a piano from the same company, so it'd be like, you know what I'm talking about? It'd be like skis and bikes, and maybe they'll start making like doorbells or something like that.
Yeah, well, I just can't really make a decision, so I'm just trying.
It's easy to just be under one roof. Do you think that? And I know you're just kind of getting started, like contracts and all that kind of stuff. Is it like a bike contract and a ski contract, or is it all under one umbrella?
With Commencal, it's 2 separate ones.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. Good for you. Yeah. Good for you. And are the skis any good? I didn't even know they made skis until.
Yeah, so it's a bit of a leap of faith, to be honest. But I just like the opportunity, like the being able to kind of help them design a ski as they're kind of new to the world.
You're getting to do ski design as well.
That was kind of part of going to Andorra. I visited the guy who's kind of behind the ski brand. And just kind of talked about different designs, different shapes and stuff that they can improve. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm helping. I thought it was a cool opportunity. So.
And what did you learn from that? Because like you're 19 years old. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Sure, you skied a lot, but like, do you know a lot about ski design and
No.
developing a ski? Like, so
No.
what were you able to learn from that?
Well, it's more like I just realized, like, hey, this year I got to pay more attention to what I like. And I've been talking to Marcus, talking to other guys like Tom Pfeiffer and stuff.
Do you like swap
Just
out
about-
skis? Like, what size
Yeah, I
are your
tried
boots?
his skis.
Yeah.
Luckily, we have the same size feet. I think we both have pretty small feet relative to our friends.
25.5.
Yeah. But yeah, just trying to pay attention to kind of what I like and how the skis in different conditions and stuff, just so I can kind of get a feel for what I want to change about it. I don't know. I tried different skis in different comps and just trying to pay more attention to what I like and don't like.
And do you have a lot of notes? Because it's a fairly new ski company.
Yeah,
Do you have a
for
lot
sure.
of notes? Like, or is there a lot of room for improvement, or are they doing all right?
They're doing all right, actually. I switched the skis that I was skiing in comp kind of halfway through the season just to have a little more support. But I actually just got next season skis that I'm going to get mounted up and try them and see how they ski.
So are you
They changed up a few things.
working towards the Commencal Way House, the pro models?
Maybe I'd like to. That'd be pretty cool.
Isn't that a great name for a ski, the Way Ho?
Yeah.
Big W's.
Yeah,
The big
make them like super
Yeah,
fat.
like 130s.
right? And like, so you were saying that you were trying his skis. Like, you ski for Rossignol, like obviously
Yeah.
one of the oldest, most established ski brands of all time. So that would be a good place to start to be like, oh, okay, because you know they know what they're doing,
Yeah.
right?
For
they
sure.
just got a brand new ski called the Center Free. Kind of
Center
designed.
Free?
Sender Free.
Oh, the Sender, yeah, that
Sender
came out
Free
this year.
110, yeah, it's kind of designed by Max, and that's kind of the ski that he kind of
Max
Palm.
Palm designed it.
Yeah, and he was like that's the ski he used all of last year on his breakout season on the tour. So I think it's a pretty solid ski.
Itself, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we kind of live in the perfect place. I mean, there's so many good skiers in this area, so like,
Right.
just being able to chat and try different skis is pretty perfect
for sure.
Right, and you've got a lot of like good teammates here through Rossi as well, like Tatum and Logan, and then
Yeah.
Derek's on them as
Derek.
well. You got Parker, who's just down in Baker. Have you been
Yeah.
down to ski with that guy yet?
I have not, but we went to Baker a long time ago.
Yeah, for a junior comp.
Yeah.
Sick down there.
You
Yeah.
should try and use the Rossi connection to go ski with
Yeah.
Parker. That guy's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he
you-
does seem like a sick dude.
Yeah, he's just a good dude to hang out with, but you probably like
Yeah.
gain a lot of
Yeah.
info, a lot of knowledge.
We were
from that
gonna
guy.
have a trip out in Braylorn earlier this year, but I've missed it unfortunately because I had to go out to Kicking Horse. But it looked like a really good time. With
Oh yeah, they
Parker
always
and
they all go
those
to
guys.
the lodge with Blake, right?
Yeah.
Braylorn.
Yeah. Looks like a good time out there.
All right, so Commencal bikes and skis.
Yeah.
So that's a great like 1-2
Yeah.
punch, all wrapped up in one little package.
Yeah.
And is it just the hardware? Do they
Do
do outerwear or any like? Kind
Yeah,
of
so they started making in-brand or in-house outwear. So I just had a few days on their bike gear. Yeah, it's pretty good. So they used to just put their logo. I can't remember on what brand, but yeah, they just started making in-house clothing too for biking. It's pretty nice, actually.
Sick. And then so we're mid-April right now. When do you guys think this switch happens? Do you wait for the hill to be closed, or when do you like? Because I know Squamish, you can ride in Squamish. Well, you could ride in Squamish all the
and
time,
Pemby too.
anyways.
Pemby, I've been in Pemby the past couple of days. I kind of started now.
Are you a big dual sport guy?
Try to. I think you just like kind of at this or getting into this level, I guess. You kind of have to, because while we're skiing, the whole winter, people our competitors are bike training all year round. So I've been trying to ride like once a week when I am home. Just go down to Squamish. My coach is there and just ride once a week, just so I'm not starting completely from scratch come April.
Right.
Because the season starts. I mean, there was already 2 enduro races in Australia a couple weeks ago.
Right.
So I missed those, but next block is June. So yeah, it's pretty. It's coming up pretty soon.
Right.
And, I have a first race April 29th, which is it's just a local race, but yeah, you gotta.
It's a toonie race.
No, it's just the Pemby Enduro.
Oh, cool.
So it's pretty chill, just nice warm up. But like,
Right.
yeah, I mean,
Are you gonna be going up against like Melamed and?
So we're in U21, so I'll be like Tegan Cruz and stuff.
Oh, okay. And you are going to be entering? Is that same deal for you?
I probably won't really fully start biking until beginning of May because I still have to. I haven't started the segment with MSP yet, and tomorrow's gonna be our first
MSP. All right, cool. This is a good transition. So you guys have both been filming with TGR as well for the last 2 years.
This year,
just this season, right? I know last year you guys got connected with like TGR Optics because I know you're buds with Kai, right? How did that? Talk about how that kind of got started.
Yeah,
like your connection with TGR.
Well, yeah, Kai kind of came out to Kicking Horse a couple of years back for Junior Worlds and skied a couple laps with him, and he was super stoked on us, I think, and kind of talked to his dad a little bit, and next thing you know, that led to Todd giving us a call and kind of setting up the TGR Optics thing and talking about the film plans, and it was all sounded pretty sick.
Yeah. And I think that along with being on the tour, like having a film segment together was a big dream
for sure.
Right. Yeah. So you filmed this year already a bunch. I saw you guys were out with McNutt not long ago, and Alex as well. Armstrong.
Yeah, Alex Armstrong.
Yeah. So it was us four. Yeah. It's been super cool to be out with Nick. I mean.
So were you guys like sledding to zones, or what was the whole what was the whole program?
Lots of doubling. Yeah. Doubling Wei Tien a lot.
Because you don't have a sled.
Sled's breaking down.
Yeah, you don't have a sled. No, yeah, he has a sled. I don't have a sled.
Yeah. Oh, you have the sled, but you don't.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're doubling.
I got one out front. You want to buy it?
Yeah. Right now.
Yeah.
Let's do it. I'll walk out with it. But yeah, it's a grind.
We'll talk for real.
I was looking at it and I was like, oh, that looks
I know a few people selling like nice sleds right now. We'll talk.
Sweet. Yeah, I'm looking into it. But yeah, it's quite the dream. I mean, Nick has just so much knowledge.
Yeah,
for such a chill guy to go out with.
Isn't he like the mellowest?
There's so many times I just felt bad. I'm like, I'm sorry, Nick. Every time I get stuck and stuff, you just come and like, just come help. Like, so chill about it.
Yeah. If it was anybody else, I feel like they'd be like,
they'd lose their temper for sure.
Pretty mad.
You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised because you know what? Every single one of those guys and girls, they've.
I guess
everybody's been through it.
Everybody has to pay their dues, and you know what? It's also your turn to go and dig and mentor that next generation, and then tease the shit out of them.
Yeah, because sometimes it's hard not to feel like a burden, you know.
Oh, it's impossible not to feel like that. Oh, 100%. Like, even now, like my first day out this year, I went with a bunch of friends, and my hip and my back were feeling kind of funny, and I was like in ski boots the whole time, and I didn't feel I really had any control, like power over the sled. So I was so mellow, like walking on eggshells. I stuck to the track. I was like, I'm just gonna go here to there. I'm not going off track. I don't want to dig. I'm like, I'm just gonna pussyfoot this thing all day.
Man. You're smart about it. It's easy to get ahead of yourself.
But then there's those days where like, don't even bring your skis out. And just go sled. Go find like a lake or something like that, and then learn how to how to counter steer and just fall off a bunch. You know what I mean? Like just go have fun.
Earlier this season I did a lot of that. Like I just got a new sled, and it's been a game changer. Just going out with people who know what they're doing and give you tips, and I've just kind of start to learn how to get yourself unstuck was a big part, and
how to avoid getting stuck.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. So then, like, TGR, right? And did you get a full segment? Are you happy? Have you seen some of the footage? Was Max filming that? Alex's partner?
Yeah, he was on the drone.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we gained a new respect for people's film segments.
Because it's hard to do.
It's a grind, hard work. Long days, and sometimes you don't get anything. Like, there's so many variables, either Mother Nature or you're just having an off day and you just crash every lap. So there's lots of variables that we definitely learned with. But I think all in all, I think we had an all right segment.
So you're filming with MSP as well.
Yeah.
I've heard a lot of this lately. Usually it was like one or the other.
Yeah.
So how does that work? Is it like, is there, you know, did you be like, hey Todd, we're doing an MSP thing here too as well? Like how is it, or is it based on sponsors' money?
Well, it was based on sponsors' money. So Razi wanted me to film with MSP and have Logan kind of mentor and have both of the new ski models out in the same film together.
Right.
So that's kind of their main idea. So they put their dollars into that. But TGR also wanted us to be filming together, which is super sick. So they allowed us to kind of film on TGR's budget under the TGR optics. So
Really awesome.
It's really
Because
cool.
Todd knows, right? He sees,
Yeah.
Todd listens to Kai, but he knows. Like, you don't get to be where he is with TGR for so long without being able to recognize talent, right? And being able to see, oh, these guys are buds. Plus, him and Kai were up here last year for like 5 weeks, and they got skunked.
Yeah.
Did you see them when they were up here last year?
Yeah.
They got it stopped snowing the day they got here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's brutal.
Yeah, I skied a resort day with them.
Wet days.
Wasn't a great resort day, that's for sure.
So MSP, when does that start?
Tomorrow's gonna be our first day.
Who are you heading out with? Who's on the crew?
I think it's gonna be Logan and Logan Pahoda and Mark Abma. I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure.
Ooh,
if
Ab Dog's back. I think, is Craig coming back? I wonder.
I think they're out in Alaska with.
He's in Terrace right now.
Yeah.
I think Terrace, and I didn't know if he's going to Alaska. Maybe he's coming back. I don't know.
Right. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure actually, but yeah, I think
sled missions.
sled missions. Yeah, I think we're gonna go to Brandywine tomorrow. And
You too?
No,
Just this
same
guy?
with MSP,
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, so yeah, I'm excited. I'm not exactly sure the filmers yet, but yeah, it's gonna be good.
So with the filming aspect of it, that's another thing that's everybody's a little different. Like, do you know what you're doing with obviously you know what you're doing with your skiing, but does it get in your head like, oh, am I supposed to go a little bit more? Am I supposed to be in the light? Am I supposed to turn towards this way? Like,
Not like I try.
it is now. You're gonna be thinking of, damn it, Mark.
Yeah, get in my head. No, I don't know. I just kind of try to pick a line and
Ski it and hopefully they get it.
Yeah, hopefully they
Did you
get
get
it.
it?
And the main thing for me is just waiting around. I'm not the best at just waiting, so
No.
I tend to, but I have to learn to be patient, and it's what it's all about filming for sure.
Yeah, that's a tricky mindset too. It's like different pace from competing.
Yeah.
Right.
Like you go up, you get up early in the morning, lights just getting out now, and then all of a sudden you're cold, waiting around for the cameras to set up, and then you're just into like some of the gnarliest skiing of your life, or one of the sendiest lines of your life, and you're just straight into it.
It's kind of like competing though, like that kind of competing.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
Yeah, like most.
It's like a different nervousness though, I think.
Right.
But what's nice about it sometimes, which I like to think about, is like when I'm nervous at the top, I'm like, hey, this is a line that I picked and I want to ski. Whereas sometimes in competing, it's like you pick the line, but like I don't know, you've seen some of the snow conditions that they compete in. It's like you're nervous as hell because of your line and because of the snow conditions. Whereas normally when you're filming, I mean, hopefully the conditions are all time.
Yeah.
Also, you don't really have time to change your line when you're filming. Or like you pick your line and then you go straight to it.
Yeah.
And so it's easy that way. Whereas if you're competing, you're like, you pick your line and then your weather hold or something, you're sitting there for a couple of days just staring at it like
double guessing
yourself.
Doubting yourself, like, oh, maybe that thing is gonna kick me offline or whatever, you know. So lots of things can happen in a couple of days of thinking.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see what happens. I have all the faith in the world that you guys will be slaying it. Maybe it'll be
when it does work out, it makes it that much better. Though.
Yeah,
maybe I'll be
exactly.
calling you up on stage at IF3 this fall.
Hopefully.
But we definitely learned a new respect for people's film segments. It's pretty incredible.
Right. Well, that's pretty exciting, fellas.
Yeah.
It's a good time.
Really, really exciting. And I'm excited to see kind of what happens with like the bike ski career and how you're able to like balance those out. You know, like we were talking about the double athletes, like another FWT athlete, Max Chabot.
Oh yeah.
He competes on 2 consecutive World Cups, which you could potentially be doing with biking and skiing soon as well, right? Like wake surfing or not wake surf. Yeah, wake surfing. Wake kiting.
Wake kiting.
Kiting.
Right.
Yeah.
Kite surfing.
Yeah, kite
Because
surfing.
doesn't he get originally sponsored by Red Bull for kiting?
I think so. And then they're like, well, we might as well just give you the helmet for skiing too,
yeah.
right? So he would go from kicking horse and then to Colombia
Yes.
to go compete. So kicking horse to compete FWT, goes to Colombia to compete for the World Kite Surfing Championships, and then to Fieberbrunn
That's wild.
Like in between. So he takes a break, goes to the beach, does like a World Cup circuit.
That's wild.
Yeah, isn't it though?
Yeah.
But you could potentially
maybe that's why he's so good. He keeps his mind off.
Maybe
off of skiing for a little bit, gets a little break, and then he's back into it.
Here, like Wayne Gretzky used to say, as soon as hockey was over, I'd stop thinking about hockey and go play baseball. I want to do other stuff. Like you got to do other things, right, to mix it up.
Yeah, for sure.
Maybe
Give your mindset a break.
Yeah, right. Yeah. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah,
you know. Wei Tien, I want to ask you about this. So you are of Asian descent.
Yes.
Right. Your last name is Wei Tien Ho, right? Obviously, it's in the name.
Yeah.
In the last like couple years, with the big diversity movement within skiing, and and like let me finish. I'm not trying to make fun of you. And like people, representation, and then trying to get people into the outdoors a little bit more. I don't think any of your friends probably think of you as that way. But has anybody really kind of approached you with that sort of an angle, or have they tried to use that as kind of an angle to sell a product or get some information?
No, I don't think so.
Because there's not a lot of Asians within skiing.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? Like,
I think that that's why Eileen
Gu is an unbelievable rock star.
Yeah.
Sidebar, I went to the World Cup halfpipe event in Calgary. I went to go interview Burke Irving. We're hanging out with Berkey, and then he was competing that night. We did an episode with him. And I got to the base of the half pipe, and it was like all Chinese. Yeah. There's probably 300 or 400 people there. Probably 300 of them were Chinese. 400. Yeah. It was unbelievable.
Just brought so many eyes.
Yeah. So the first night, like they had to, it was two competitions. The second one, they had to set up fencing because after athletes would come down, they'd have to go and then get on the lift to get back up to the top. Yeah. Well, they weren't able to get through because it was just a crowd.
Right.
And it was like there were people with signs, like people that probably never skied.
Yeah.
That are now being exposed to like some of the gnarliest parts of skiing. Yeah. But I thought it was super rad. Like someone like her exposing the sport to like a brand new demographic that never really had the opportunity, right? Yeah. Whereas I see that you could potentially be in that. Like, I don't even think of you like all your buddies are like, oh, whatever, he's just Wei Tien. You know what I mean? But there is going to, I would think there's going to be those conversations coming up. And have you had any experience with that, or what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I don't think I'm moving like that really yet.
Yeah.
So, but no, to this day, not really. I think maybe also because I'm half Asian.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Where's Eileen based out of, though?
She is raised in San Francisco Bay Area.
Oh, really?
Her parents are Chinese. She decided to ski for China.
A lot of heat from this.
She decided to ski for China for the Olympics.
Yeah.
And I knew she was gonna win. I actually talked to her agent. I was like, "Hey, I want to get Eileen on the show. Can we make it happen before she wins the Olympics and becomes like out of reach?" But I think she maybe already was. Like, she is a world superstar. She's not she's a superstar in skiing.
Yeah.
She's an international model. She's going to she's going to school for quantum physics, quantum mechanics, like triple threat of like the pinnacle of all,
like
right?
Harvard or something.
Like I ran into some girls at the bottom of the half pipe. I'm like, "Who are you here to see?" They're like, "Eileen Girl." Like, she is a rock star.
Yeah.
I mean, what, she has like 1.5 million or something.
What, followers?
Yeah, I think so.
Probably more than that. Like, she's
I stalked her this morning, actually.
1.8. This guy knows his stats.
Did you follow? You had a look at this morning.
Yeah, I know. She's a superstar for sure.
But like, she's a superstar, which is great for opening up opening up skiing to that new demographic, right? Sure. Creating representation.
He's next.
You could be, but
I haven't actually really thought about that.
Are you familiar with Jeremy Lin, like the basketball player? He's like a Asian basketball player. I think he played for the Raptors for a hot cup of coffee. I think maybe during the year they won. Yeah. But he ended up playing for a team, and it was like, insanity. He had like a month that he was really good, but massive in China because it's growing over there, right? So, sure, you grew up in Canada, you probably consider yourself Canadian, you're mixed race, but your name is Wei Tien Ho, right? And like, you look like you're
Yeah,
half
I don't know.
Asian.
I haven't really thought about that much, to be honest, but I think it'd be cool. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I want to go. I haven't actually been to China,
Right.
so I'd like to.
I don't know. It just part of me is like, A, it's really awesome because you're a really good kid. You're a great mountain biker. You're a great skier, right? And A, it's an opportunity to have someone with a name like yours who looks a little bit like you, to be able to use that to grow the sport in A, but also B, go the Eileen route and capitalize on it, right?
No, I definitely like being mixed race for sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Do you speak the language at all? Are you like second or third generation?
I wish I did.
That's fine. Are you second, third generation Canadian, that kind of thing?
Second. Yeah, second.
Yeah.
My mom speaks a bit of Cantonese.
Mm-hmm.
Speaks to my grandma, but they moved here when they were pretty young.
Right.
Yeah, my grandma always bugs me for not knowing Chinese and bugs my mom for not teaching me Chinese.
Right.
But I think if I when I go to school, or maybe before, like just take like
some
like
classes,
Duolingo maybe.
Dude, man, Duolingo.
Duolingo.
I'm currently on a 267-day streak on my Duolingo right
What
now.
do you learn? What language do you learn?
Just French.
Yeah, nice.
I learned like just through like high school, right? I remembered a lot of the vocabulary and how the words,
my French.
a lot of the words worked, and then every time I go to France, I was like, oh, I can actually kind of understand what you're saying,
Which is cool, yeah.
because it's not Quebecois,
Yeah.
right? How many
I like
Quebec?
Quebecois French.
Can you understand a word they say?
Yeah, I was taught Quebecois French. All my teachers were Quebecois.
Oh, okay, that's why I don't understand a word. I've dated French girls. I've worked with French people. I live in Whistler. It's like, another.
There's a lot that like slips my mind, but like
but I can't understand what they're saying. But I go to
enough.
Europe. I go to Europe, like just in Switzerland twice this year, and in France. I'm like, oh, I get this.
Yeah,
Like I was traveling with Eric on the way back, and I was like, oh, I can.
which is cool because you go to a bunch of other countries and I just have no idea what's going on.
No idea. But that's really cool that you may be interested. I would say, if that's something you're keen on, lean into it.
Yeah,
Because like I said, it helps. Maybe it
For
enables some people to be like, oh, look at this guy. Look what he's
Chinese,
doing. He kind of looks like me. Maybe doesn't speak it yet, but maybe he will.
yeah.
It's like we were watching the J. We were
Looks
watching.
like me.
We were watching. Well, that's the whole thing, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Like we were watching the Jays game earlier, and a lot of those players like Dominican, they don't speak any English, and then like they start learning, and they they get there.
Nicholas from Peak, one of the guys when he was showing me around the headquarters, one of the guys, he's from the UK. He said in 2 years, just from Duolingo, learned Swedish, and you can barely even tell. He said,
Oh yeah,
just from Duolingo.
yeah. Hackle.
Is it
Alex Hackle? Yeah,
Is it him?
I've heard that he.
Oh,
I was talking to Raina about.
maybe it
I was
was
talking to
him.
Raina and Carl about it, and they're like, "Oh yeah, the rate that he learned this language is so impressive."
Yeah.
Yeah, so he apparently Hackle was like he hangs out with the bunch.
Yeah.
And he's working with Peak, but apparently he learned Swedish extremely
so
fast.
cool.
So I've heard several people be like, it was astonishing how quick he learned.
That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah,
He must have been like always around people speaking
he was
Swedish. as well.
Yeah, I think he was fully immersed.
Yeah.
Helps, right? Like even
Which
being
helps for sure. Yeah.
even being in Switzerland last month, I like went and bought a sandwich from a dude in the airport.
Yeah.
I bought a sandwich and an apple juice, and the guy in front of me was talking to the guy behind the counter, and they were talking in English. I'm like, okay, no, this guy speaks English, but I wanted to order it in French.
Yeah.
So I ordered it in French, paid in French. It didn't go. Usually when you start talking in French, they're like, that'll be $5, dude. They're like,
they know you're not serious.
they'll answer in English, but he didn't do it. And then he was on, so I took the train, and I arrived, and we went to Alea Bay, the surf thing. So I went from the train station to the surf.
It was a big day for you.
Yeah, that was like 30 plus hours to the surf spot, and I spoke to the cab driver the entire way in French, the whole full conversation. I'm like, oh yeah, and I was like gaining a litin a little more confidence, and I think being able to use it and practice it helps.
Sure.
The Duolingo was great just for, I think just keeping it in your brain, vocabulary.
Well,
and all
just
that
being
kind of stuff.
immersed in the culture, I think helps.
And then once you're in it, and you're like, all right, sweet, you have an opportunity to speak it for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know that's something they just kind of I hadn't really thought about it until today. It kind of popped into my head because she's a megastar, right? Like she is a draw.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't think you'll ever get to the level of her.
Who knows?
Yeah,
Who knows what this guy could do?
Yeah, you never know. It'll be like
maybe
I'll
if I
get
start like YouTube and shit.
maybe I'll get yeah. There you go. Maybe I'll get off the plane in Switzerland and one of the 900 different watch advertisements. You'll be sitting there like doing one of these things.
That'd be funny.
Yeah. But you look at like Abel Boga and Amar Navarro and the fan base that they bring in Spain to Baqueira. It's like thousands of Spanish fans and cheering, loudest cheers I've ever heard.
Yeah.
It's the biggest fan base I've ever seen at the
there's
bottom of a
world
free
tour
ride
in-
competition.
Maybe when there's a world tour in China.
Where would they have that? I wonder.
knows?
Oh
I
yeah,
have no idea.
the Himalayas.
Yeah.
Maybe like the foothill. Maybe like the the start of them.
Yeah.
Maybe not like deep in.
Well, I just don't know where the border, like, how much of the Himalayas are in China.
Well, like Everest is half of it. Like, Everest is like on the border of Nepal and China.
Everest.
And like, you never know. FWT Everest. The FIS
Mountaineer,
FIS Freeride World Tour. That would be cool.
Yeah.
Hey, you never know. Like, since FIS is now like owners of the tour,
Yeah.
they may be like, we want this guy as like our poster boy.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah,
what
I don't know. I don't know.
You never know. But anyways, that's something I hadn't really thought about it.
it's
But this afternoon, while I was getting set up, I'm like,
Yeah.
I wonder if he's thought about that, or capitalized on it. Because I said,
Yeah.
A, open up the sport, but B, there's the B. I would be taking me a while to get to.
Yeah.
Cash in, bro.
Yeah. I think, I wonder, like, maybe if I moved from China, like, if I actually lived in China, it would maybe be more on my mind.
I don't even know if you need to live in China.
But I just mean, like, I would have that more on my mind and
Right.
think about
Right,
maybe
right.
capitalizing on that. I mean, maybe later on,
Right?
but I also don't know.
Could-
I'm not moving like that yet.
Could
so,
be,
like,
or maybe not even go as deep, right? But just be like, hey, I'm like, I'm multicultural,
yeah.
right? I have two heritages,
Yeah.
right?
You know what my name actually means, though?
No, what does it mean?
Magnificent Sky.
Really?
Yeah.
Spot on.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Magnificent.
Kind of cool.
This guy, this magnificent guy.
Mr. Magnificent Sky.
Yeah.
I love it. Do you
Yeah,
have
man.
the caricature tattoo?
No, as I was saying that, I'm thinking about maybe I'll get a tattoo.
And everyone's
That's
gonna be
one-
like, "What does it say?" Like,
Yeah.
This is my name.
Magnificent Sky.
like chicken face or something. Like, they have the
Yeah.
dudes get it, and they're like, "You know what that says?"
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know.
Anyways, that's cool. That I would highly suggest. Just keep thinking about
Yeah,
that.
for sure.
See how it can benefit
Yeah.
not only yourself, but how it can benefit other people with
Yeah.
regards to not only skiing but like mountain biking, because you guys are going to be both fully immersed. You're going to be fully immersed. I don't know. I think you're going to keep biking, and you can probably do the occasional comp and then like win it or go top 10 just because you feel like doing something.
That's his style, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Elite
People,
man.
sponsors are definitely liking the dual sport athletes these days. So I think it's a good.
Yeah, you know
route to
why?
go.
Because they can double up.
Yeah, exactly.
But if that's the case, you gotta get them to pay double,
yeah.
or at least 1.75.
Yeah. I mean, we live in a pretty perfect spot to do it, so.
Right. Well, you think that's exactly. You guys are where you are probably.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Probably
I mean,
because you're from here.
if you live here, it's like, oh, okay, once the ski mountain closes, what do?
you go
You're
biking.
naturally
Yep.
going to pick up a bike.
Yeah. Right.
But, like, definitely this year I've noticed, like, just balancing time is a challenge for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it'll come with experience, like, just learning, okay, when to rest the body, when to do this, when to do that.
Oh, managing time specifically for the physical aspects, not necessarily like the calendar of like, I need to be here, I need to go do
Yeah,
that.
I know. I'm physical and just like trying to get time on the bike, time on the skis, and trying to balance that is definitely been a tough one. But I think it'll come with experience. I mean, you learn every day.
Yeah. And you guys are young too, so like
Yeah.
you adapt quickly still, you bounce back quickly still. Like I know you work out a ton.
But I remember like when I was a kid and I would see these guys that would do them both, and then eventually they would end up picking one, like Finn Isles, Jesse, and stuff.
Right.
And I know they Jesse because of an injury and stuff. But I was always like, oh, like why
Finn's
do
a
you
good
choose-
skier too.
I know, yeah, they're still really good skiers, but they specialize.
Right.
But I was always like, oh, like, why did they end up choosing one if you could do them both? Because when you're a kid, it's all just chill. You don't have to bike
Right.
the whole season. You don't have to bike the whole season.
Right.
And you got on a bike and it's fine. But then now at like higher levels, I definitely notice, okay, this is why.
Well, do you think like because they're both like Finn and Jesse, they're in like even like Jackson, Goldstone, right? They're all like at the top of their game.
Yeah.
Would they be at the top of their game?
Well, that's the other thing. Yeah.
If they were dual
both.
athletes,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? And are you concerned about that?
Yeah, for sure. If there's a compromise, yeah, for sure. But
You haven't had to make that choice yet.
I can't decide, and I've always liked to do something that's different.
Right.
So just like having them both, and that idea that no one else is really doing it,
Right.
kind of motivates me. So I like that part.
Sweet.
And then also like gives you a little like ego boost. Like when I'm biking, I'm like, oh, these guys aren't skiing in winter. When I'm skiing, it's like, oh,
Is that what you're actually thinking?
or it gives me like a little safety net, a little excuse,
like,
just to like.
These chumps
my
think
ego
they're
a
so awesome. Like, try.
The worst
All
though
of
is
it.
worst.
We'll see at the top of Jordan at the first. Yeah.
Or like if I get absolutely smoked, I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, exactly. You can blame it on your other sports.
Yeah.
I was putting my time to this one. Like when I go do some downhill World Cups against the Leafs this year, I'm not even going to qualify. So,
but I think if it gets to that point, like where I'm not competing to be at the top,
You'll make the call.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. Because I don't.
Well, then you'll probably just move into filming for both.
yeah.
Because that's really what it is, right? Is like you start off. I had this conversation with.
But even with filming too, if I'm not skiing how I know I could be if I was just focusing on this sport, I'll call it.
And that's why I find you guys interesting. I wanted to kind of hear about your thoughts on all of the things we talked about today, because you're already filming for two, like MSP and TGR. TGR, right? Last week I had Craig Murray on the show, who is legend of the FWT, but also is an unbelievable film skier. He does his own projects, which are really fantastic. Go listen to that episode if you haven't, because it's great. But he produces his own film projects, but then also skis for MSP. But that's usually, when we were talking, that's usually how it goes. Riders will go on the FWT for 3, 4, 5 years, and then they transfer into their film career.
Yeah.
Well, you could make the choice of just going straight into the film career if you want, but you want to do the competition circuit, you want to do the bike stuff, you want to do a little bit of everything, where you do have the opportunity to just pick one now if you wanted to.
I think it might be a little different being someone from Canada or around BC, where we have the opportunity to have these film companies locally, whereas in Europe they don't really have those big film companies.
I guess so, yeah, right? Because everybody rolls through Whistler. Like, Whistler's one of the hubs. The only reason that there's a low pressure podcast, the first podcast in skiing, is because I was I could get a button. That was glad you called me out on that one. That was a total shameless self plug. The first first podcast in skiing, but it was because I'd lived here for like over a decade. I knew all pro skiers that lived in town, right? When Whistler Blackcomb used to have like the best pro team of all time, and they actually promoted that. It was like, oh, I remember going to the premiere of I think All I Can, the first Sherpas film. And I was standing in a circle, and it was Ian McIntosh, there was Hoji, there was James Heim, Lindsay Dyer was there, and like et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I'm like, episode. If you look at that first season, you know, I had a few episodes with like some friends on it, and I had like some big names in that first season, like big.
Well, it's
even
pretty
today.
wild. You just like ski resort and just see these.
Like I've been. There's been days where I've been like on the top of the crystal chair with like a friend from out of town, and I'm like, oh, Heimer's there. Oh, there's McNutt. Oh, there's so and so. Do you know what I mean?
I think that's a huge reason as well why the Whistler Freeride Club is so successful. We have these.
You see them, right? You go up like. You go up Peak Chair, or you go up like Glacier Chair, and you're like, oh, who hit Dominator? Oh, who hit Lone Pine? Oh, someone just skied Slayer, or like, you know what I mean? Or like, oh, look at that dude, he just hucked his 720 off the bottom of third step
and like
of Jordan, you know?
And like our coaches have the hookups so where they can like go ask one of these legendary skiers locally to come ski with the club, and just seeing these legends and being able to get some information from them is huge game changer.
Yeah, valuable. Hey, like, hey guys, you want to come ski with the club this year? Exactly. You know, it's funny, and then in reverse too, like Justine Dufour-Lapointe, she won the overall this year. Well, she kind of got her, like, she kind of figured out this year in a year, not even a year, like 6 months, you figured out, oh, I'm gonna go for the moguls. I've never really free rode before. I'm gonna go free riding, and she went and rode with you guys.
Yeah,
exactly.
I remember like
Derek.
I was skiing with her with the Whistler Freeride Club earlier this season, and we're just practicing our visual inspection. She was practicing for the tour. I was practicing. We were practicing for the Junior Worlds, and it's funny seeing her like still like less knowledge of how to visual inspect than I do. And then she just goes on to the tour, and like after a couple months of just practicing and
Skiing
watching
hard.
and learning, and then she just goes and wins the whole thing.
And that's what like people like that is the people you have to pay attention to as well, because
exactly.
you can learn a lot from her from like a decade of competition.
Yeah.
She's a gold and silver medalist in the Olympics, right?
Yeah.
You think you're not going to learn something from that? You're an idiot.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
And then her ability to like kind of start from scratch.
Yeah, and then
have that
and then
mindset.
win the tour.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, well, you know, it's really cool to see where you guys have come from. I'm stoked to have gotten to know you in the last little while,
Likewise.
because I'm a fan of you both, and I'm gonna still tease the crap out of you and sandbag you at every chance I get.
I'm sure you will.
But like, congratulations on everything you guys have been able to do in the last year,
Thank
and
you,
it's
thank
really
you.
cool that you've been able to do it like as friends, but also keep up with each other.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like you each, like I wanted to separate you two because you each have a lot going on, and it's not like, oh, you're buds, you're a good skier, but you've achieved all of this. But you're a good skier and you've achieved, like, you know what I mean? It's not one or the other. You guys are both like,
we're
you
both-
guys are like doing this.
We're always doing that for sure. Ever since the beginning, just skiing hidden features and stuff. And I think honestly, now that we're gonna be on the tour together, it's gonna be more of like teammates, because we're gonna be like Canadians together.
Right,
And
it's kind of like, it's like Carl and Christopher
Yeah,
Trudell and Reyna always
yeah.
traveling together. Like they always ski. You look back on a lot of the comps, they all ski a lot of the same lines, a lot of the
Yeah.
same ways. They think a lot the same way.
yeah, like we
Yeah,
think
we think the
very
same way.
similar. Like every junior
It's kind of
competition,
wild, yeah.
we're always like, oh, I want to do that, and they're like, what are you doing? It's like,
That's
Same.
screw you,
Yeah.
I was gonna do that one. It's
so.
like,
Is it better? So would it be like, all right, on a comp though? Do you want to go first or second if you're skiing the same line?
probably
Like out of us
yeah.
two?
Yeah.
So if we're skiing the same line?
Yeah. Okay.
I'd,
So you're like, I want to ski this and
I'd
this.
probably rather
That's
go first, to be honest.
really.
Well,
don't
because-
know. That's kind of a hard one, actually.
I think because for me it'd be like, okay, if I go and crash and then he lands it, it's like, okay, you kind of learned from my mistake. But if he goes and like lands it, then like, okay, I have to.
Yeah, but then like then the line is set and the takeoffs are set and you know what
But
I
then
mean?
exactly, there's more pressure on the
Right.
guy that's going
Yeah,
second.
for sure. Yeah.
So
I don't know. I'd rather go first and watch Big W.
Oh yeah,
shred the
you'd rather
face.
watch.
The
Yeah.
big W.
No,
I
but
don't know,
I'm
it's a tough one. But even like when we were filming, we'd look at zones and we'd pick the same line.
yeah.
We'd spot something out and be like, oh, that's what I was doing.
Right,
Whereas in
well, that's what
filming,
happens-
You can't do the same.
That's what
thing.
happens when you're good friends and you've been skiing and hanging out and being like essentially brothers for 10 years, 11 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
we gotta know what each other are gonna do. Like sometimes if I'm just even if we're just
before he
on
does it,
resort-
you know. Before he does it or
exactly.
says
I'll
it,
be
you know.
filming it and I can call it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. Though.
Yeah. Whereas on juniors, I'd say we were definitely had a bit more. We're still like full homies, but like when it's in the start gate, it's definitely a bit more competitive nature.
Yeah.
Whereas I think it's gonna be.
You're
like,
competitive, but like you want each other to do well.
Yeah,
but you're
for
not like,
sure.
suck it, jackass. None of that.
No, I think
sometimes I would do that.
and I
but-
think that's unique about the ski and kind of bike industry. There's not much. There's rivalry, but like healthy rivalry. Where
It's not like surfing or something like that. Where
Yeah.
like, I don't know, you know, there's.
and yeah,
I may be
maybe-
wrong. I don't follow a lot of surfing, but I think there's a lot of hostility in surfing.
Yeah,
I
and I
mean-
think with a bunch of other industries too.
Right.
I mean,
I've learned on the tour. At the end of the day, everyone is full on homies. Like,
Yeah.
they're just there to have fun and ski.
Yeah.
Like honestly, like there's people on the day who get like in their like not really competitive nature, but like they're just in their own bubble, kind
Yeah,
of.
man. Competition headspace, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
you're still there to compete on a world tour,
Yeah.
right?
But-
But in the end, they're like, all right,
Yeah,
we're
everyone's
gonna
just friends,
we're
yeah.
gonna sit down and have dinner at the
after
same
party,
table, right?
everybody's partying
Maybe,
together.
yeah, maybe like someone's like had a crash and they're bummed for like a couple hours or something, but then they're just stoked to be there with this sick crew.
Yeah.
you can't be bummed when you're just with all your
exactly.
homies.
So you two, I'm actually kind of concerned. I was talking to Derek about this the other day. Like you two and Max Palm all hanging out together.
Yeah, it's gonna be hectic.
I love Max, but his middle name is Mischief.
Yeah, Max is a funny guy.
I gotta show you a funny video at the
he's a
indoor
funny
after
one
party
for sure.
when he flipped his bed.
Oh right.
He went home
My
and
bed.
passed out and just flipped his bed.
While he was on it.
He was
Yeah.
like sleeping.
I was like a scorpion while
I
was
saw
sleeping.
a video of you getting water splashed on your face and you didn't even react. It was like
Yeah.
splash and then you were like, okay, and then you got up like you were expecting it.
Yeah.
Anyways, well, all I gotta say is there are points in time where you just gotta tell people to put the phones down. And with that being
Yeah.
said,
Yeah.
social media, which do you prefer and how do people find you?
What do you mean? Which do you prefer? Like which
One do you
platform?
use? Yeah.
Definitely Instagram.
Yeah, Instagram's the one. You're not like, because I asked you guys because
He's a
you're
big
younger.
Tinder guy too, actually.
Tinder guy.
He's a Tinder killer.
Go follow me on Tinder.
Go follow me on Tinder. No.
Instagram.
Instagram. Yeah, I don't know.
Marcus G 360.
I don't really
What's the name?
like try to stay too active. I kind of just like to post something. If I have a sick clip, I'll post
Right.
it, but I don't really try to go out of my way to do all these stories and do all these posts all the time, and I like to just kind of keep it like,
Well, that's good because you may end up having to because it's going to be your job soon.
yeah,
Or maybe if you continue the way you're going, you don't have to step up, right?
Yeah.
Like there's those people that really put in the work
yeah,
and then they are like, oh shit, like I kind of have to continue this. You know,
Yeah.
they get to that level of output and they kind of have to be consistent with
Yeah,
it where
yeah.
maybe if you just are half-assed, maybe you don't have to do more.
yeah. I don't know. It's been working
I think
out
it
okay
depends
so
what you
far.
want out of it.
Yeah,
too.
exactly.
I mean,
Right.
like Sam Cooch, I don't think cares that much about it.
No.
He's a
Yeah.
He's like one of the mellowest humans
Yeah,
ever.
Yeah,
same with his brother.
yeah, they're sick.
We spent a fair bit of time with Adam.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, he was on he was on the tour this year as well. Or on the Challenger tour.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I traveled with him.
Right.
Yeah. He's a chiller.
He's another guy who's telling me like, yeah, he's another just
Oh, yeah.
unbelievable
He's-
skier.
Oh yeah,
Just the
So
way
much
he
style,
skis
too,
is
yeah.
like crazy.
just like his bro.
Have you spent
Yeah.
much time skiing in whitewater?
Never actually.
No.
Yeah, me neither.
When you go there and you see how good these guys are and like the people that nobody knows that just live there
yeah,
Yeah,
that just snipe, that you're like, oh,
yeah.
you're good. You're that good because you had to learn how to throw 720s while sniping through trees in the forest.
Yeah.
kind of thing.
There's so many resorts like that. I mean, we were
Right.
in Taos earlier this season, and there's like so many little, or not little, but like
Kids,
kids,
riders,
yeah,
right?
yeah, they're just shredding. And
I've heard that about like Whistler Bike Park too. I was talking to Tippy when we were doing the
Yeah.
Tippy podcast, and there's just like dudes that just get off work and will just
Oh yeah,
destroy the park.
Oh, yeah.
And then
sure.
nobody knows who they
Park
are, and no
rats,
one really
yeah,
cares
yeah.
just because they're guys that just ride it every
Yeah,
day. you know?
exactly. Yeah.
yeah,
Lots of
unique
that.
place.
Right? So, were you more of a hinge guy, Wei Tien?
Hinge guy. Yeah.
No,
Hinge or Bumble?
no, I'm not. I try to learn from him sometimes, but I'm not that much of a texter. I'm not very good at it. So
And
every
then-
once in a while, I do a little shoulder look, see what his game is going on. Like
Yeah,
try
yeah.
to take a few sentences.
Really?
few
Got
lines away.
really just high and a happy face? That's all you got there, buddy?
Well,
Yeah.
when he's moving like that, yeah, I don't know.
And then
I
where
don't got no Tinder game. That's for sure.
where can people find you?
yeah, just Instagram. I think it's just.
What's your handle?
I think it's Weisin_ho.
Wei Tien. WEITIEN
Yeah,
_ho.
_ho. Yeah.
Well, there you go. Well, thanks, boys, for coming over.
Yeah,
That was
thanks for having
that
us.
was a lot of
Yeah,
fun.
thank you very much, Mark.
It was a long one. I was like, oh, like we'll just keep going. This is probably the last regular scheduled one of the season.
Oh shit,
So
that's
this
a
is-
wrap.
Yeah, so I wanted to do one of these where people kind of get to know you guys better,
Yeah.
because everyone is going to get to know you pretty damn soon.
Yeah, hopefully we can get back out here and do some more storytelling.
Oh, dude,
better storytelling.
any time. I think maybe we'll have to start like a regular bullshit
This episode
session.
1, yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Episode 1.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Goguen
I
Wei.
mean, we all live in pretty close.
The Goguen Wei Show.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Dudes, thanks for coming
Yeah,
by.
Yeah.
thank you.
Thank you, Mark.
All right.
Thanks.
We'll talk to you soon. Thanks for watching this video on the LPP YouTube channel. If you haven't yet, please hit that subscribe button. It would mean a lot to me. And while you're here, you may as well watch this great LPP highlights video. Thanks.